What is up, guys? Rick Hack is here, and I have been absolutely and unequivocally addicted to Diablo 3. Now, what caused me to get into a game that came out years ago? I have no idea, but whatever the reason, I just can't stop playing. I am absolutely loving Diablo 3. Now, Diablo 3 is another loot-based RPG. I definitely seem to gravitate towards those type of games. And I think that there has been substantial and incredible innovations made by Diablo 3, both at release and as the game has been getting older, that could definitely apply to the Destiny franchise. Now, I know what a lot of you are thinking. You're thinking, okay, Rick, we know that they're both loot-based games, and I'm sure some of your ideas are good, but what are the chances that Destiny will actually listen to Diablo 3? They're two totally different games. Well, what if I told you it's already happened? You see, Diablo 3, it's owned by Blizzard, the same people who make World of Warcraft, and Activision owns Destiny. And remember that Blizzard and Activision merged to create one company, Activision-Blizzard. And so Diablo 3 devs have actually, in the past, visited the Bungie studios to give them advice on how to make Destiny better. I'm not making this up. This actually already happened. So some of the positive changes you've seen in Destiny, especially in terms of rewarding people more for their playtime, has actually been inspired from Diablo 3. So these ideas, the stuff I'm bringing up in this video, is not just shots in the dark. This is all extremely relevant and has a really good chance of actually making it into the Destiny franchise in the future. So with that out of the way, let's get started. Now, one of the biggest and most interesting innovations in Diablo 3 is seasons. Now, let me explain what these are. You're seeing right now gameplay from a seasonal character I created, a wizard. And Diablo 3 is actually on its 5th season right now. And seasons, when they start, they last for a few months, and then they'll end, and a new season will pop up. So Season 5 will end in about 2 months, and then Season 6 will begin. So what are seasons, and what's the point of creating a seasonal character? Well, first and foremost, when you create your seasonal character, when a new season is available and you create that character, you start at level 1 and you have no affiliation with any of your other characters. So you can't access the stash in Diablo 3, which is exactly like the vault in Destiny, so you can't trade items between your seasonal character and any of your other characters, so it's a much more pure experience. All of the stuff you earn and you're using, you've actually gotten with that seasonal character. And now the first benefit to this is to give competitive players a new start in the leaderboards. So there's seasonal leaderboards, like there's Season 5 leaderboards, so if you're like a really competitive player, you know, you love Destiny PvP, Trials of Osiris is your thing, if you start a little bit later, it can be extremely daunting to look at those leaderboards, even if you are really talented. Introducing seasons would actually be a really great way to get competitive players excited about the game. Everyone starts off when the new season starts from level 1 on a new character. You can't use your 1,000-yard stare or your No Land Beyond or whatever else you've gotten, your Thorn. You're going to have to get that stuff again and get the God rolls again, and it'll really just kind of spice up the competitive scene. Now, for non-competitive players, why you would want to start a seasonal character is that there's actually special rewards tied to seasonal characters. Like my seasonal wizard has a set of armor that I can only get if I start a seasonal 5 wizard. Like I can't get that armor if I was just to start a normal non-seasonal wizard. Again, I can only get that by starting a seasonal character. Now, when this season ends, your character will not get deleted, nothing bad happens. Your character that's seasonal just becomes a normal character, and all the stuff that was in your stash of your seasonal character is just moved over to your normal characters. So there's really no downside. It's just a great chance to start a new character, really get the competitive scene going again, and get some exclusive rewards at that. Additionally, a great thing about seasons is it lets the Diablo community know exactly what's going on, because Diablo has tied all of the big updates and all of the influxes of new content to the changing seasons. So Season 5 is currently on, and when Season 6 starts, like, when Season 5 ends and it's going over to Season 6, that moment is going to be when Diablo 3 gets the next big update and big content addition, which is awesome because, again, it lets the community know exactly what's going on. They know the timing of everything. They know that the next big update will be when Season 6 starts. And looking at Destiny, I mean, it's been an absolute disarray for the past God knows how long. No one knows what's going on. No one knows what is getting nerfed, when it's getting nerfed. But if it introduced some sort of seasonal system, so you know every 3 months there will be a big update, that would really help the community know what's going on and alleviate a lot of the frustrations. Now, another great innovation in Diablo 3 is the idea of rifts. Now, this is kind of complicated, so I'm going to explain it as best I can for all of the non-Diablo 3 players that I know are watching. Now, rifts essentially, when you reach the end game, what you can do is you can open what's called a Nephilim Rift. And all that is you open it, you go in, and it's a completely randomly generated dungeon. You kill enemies in this dungeon, you fill up a bar. When this bar is filled, it spawns a Rift Guardian, a big boss. You kill him, and then you kind of complete that rift. And that big boss can drop these special keys which let you open a greater rift. Now, the very interesting thing about greater rifts is that there's essentially unlimited difficulties. They are exactly like the rifts I just described, randomly generated rifts. You kill enemies to fill a bar. At the end of that, there's a boss that spawns. Now, interestingly enough, there's actually a time limit, so you're going to have to fill up the bar before the bar automatically fills up over time to complete it. But what I'm trying to get at, and the most important part that I think that could actually be applied into Destiny, is the fact that these greater rifts increase in difficulty essentially forever. Like, you can select your difficulty and go to, level 20, and then 21, then 22, and you can keep going, increasing in difficulty until, again, basically infinite. And there's actually leaderboards, like there's the world's best solos for certain character, like the best ever monk, solo rift run was, 83 or whatever the difficulty actually is. But it's a really interesting concept that I think could be applied to, let's say, strikes in Destiny. Like, what if you could select a strike playlist and you would have to have, a teammates that you've actually already gotten, so you couldn't just matchmake, or you could go in solo and you could keep increasing the difficulty. Like, you could go to a level 5 strike and then it would be kind of similar to a Nightfall. But then you could go level 10, which would be even harder than Nightfall. And then, level 30, things would be killing you in one shot, so it would be extremely intense. And you'd have to have the perfect build to go around how hard this strike was. And there would be, again, leaderboards to keep track of the world records of how far people have gotten in these increasing difficulty strikes. Like, I think it would be a pretty cool addition into Destiny, and it would be a great new thing for the end game. Like, people in Diablo spend most of their time just seeing how high they can get in those difficulty counters for the greater rifts. And a lot of Destiny players complain that there isn't anything to do. If you don't want to do the raid, you're kind of out of stuff to do. But giving them a basically never-ending challenge and saying how far can you go, and every time new gear and new weapons and new exotics are introduced and new builds are developed, people might be able to get even further in those strike challenges. I think that would be a pretty awesome addition to the Destiny endgame. Now, there's also been some pretty fantastic innovations specifically to do with the loot system. And the first thing that I've talked about kind of in a previous video, but it's the idea of set armor. So in Diablo 3, you'll actually have certain armor that belongs to a set. And the more pieces you're wearing from the set, so if you're wearing just the helmets and the gloves, you'll get a certain bonus for wearing 2 of the 6 pieces of that set, for example. Then if you're wearing the helmet, the gloves, the legs, and the chest, you'll get the bonus for wearing 4 items of that set. And then if you're wearing 6 items of that set, you'll get another third substantial bonus. And this idea of getting a bonus for wearing a set of armor would be one of the easiest and most awesome things to apply to Destiny. Right now, there's no reason to pimp out your character with a full set of Trials of Osiris armor, for example, or a full set of Iron Banner armor. You basically just kind of mishmash whatever armor is the highest light. Most players do. But giving a bonus, like making it so that your grenade recharges twice twice as fast. If you're wearing all Iron Banner armor, that's a substantial enough bonus that it would really kind of make people go out and try to get all of the different Iron Banner pieces. And then there would be an Iron Banner bonus, a raid bonus for wearing all of the raid armor, you know, a Trials of Osiris bonus. Every time you get an entire set of armor, even with the faction sets, getting all of the Dead Orbit armor, and then you get a special bonus for that. That would actually really give a reason for people to keep looting in the game, because right now armor is really not utilized as much as it should be in Destiny. But introducing set bonuses would, I think, really spice up the game and spice up people's desire to keep looting in Destiny. Now, the last innovation I want to talk about in Diablo 3 is that Diablo 3 actually has a pretty high chance for essentially exotics, or in their game, it's legendaries and then the set armor, to drop. In fact, they actually have a pity timer so that once you get to 2 hours and you've never seen a legendary, it's going to be like a 99% chance for a legendary to drop. So it's just really kind of rewarding the player with good loot for playing the game, which is what a loot-based game should do. Now, of course, the potential problem of doing this is that the player gets all of the good loot and then just gets bored of the game. But how Diablo 3 kind of prevents this is it makes it so that the loot you're getting, legendaries and set pieces you're getting, are still semi-randomized. They have the important, set attributes, an armor, like a certain sword will always spawn with a 50% damage boost to this skill. Or actually in Diablo 3, some might spawn with 48, some might spawn with, 55 when you're trying to find the best version, but they will all kind of generally do relatively the same, legendary, aka exotic thing. But additionally, there's some semi-randomized stats as well. So not only are you just trying to get legendaries, you're trying to get the best legendaries. And that's really the driving force behind the game. Right now in Destiny, when you get a last word, you get the last word. And aside from the light level, there's really no difference in getting it over and over and over again. And what that does is it really diminishes the excitement if you get another exotic twice. Or 3 times, 4 times, or in my case, getting the stupid Dragon's Breath 100 times. But again, in Diablo 3, this doesn't happen. If you get the same legendary that you already have, you're not disappointed. You're actually interested, you check it out and see which one is better for your current build. I think Destiny could learn somewhat from this system. Now, I do think exotics should have almost the exact same perks. The Red Death should be the Red Death no matter how it spawns. But maybe just have one extra perk, just like the raid weapons from King's Fall, that can be semi-randomized. That's going to make it so that if you have a Red Death, and you get another one, you're not immediately just disappointed. You don't immediately just go to delete it. You'll actually check it out, see what extra perk it spawned with, see if it's better than the perk you currently have on your Red Death. That would still make exotics special. And again, I'm not saying that increased randomization so you can get a shitty roll on an exotic. That's not what I'm saying. The Red Death, even if you get it with the last perk that you don't really like, is still gonna behave like a Red Death with a perk you do like. It's just gonna be a little bit worse or a little bit better. But that is gonna increase the interest in looting and increase the variety within the game. Now that's it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed and I hope you liked these ideas. Remember, if you actually want to see these ideas possibly introduced into Destiny in the future, remember to like and share this video. Now, if you want to see more Destiny content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me, the best way is to follow me on Twitter. That's linked in the description down below, as is my Twitch channel, which you can follow as well. Now, again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.